Hello there, welcome along. This is Business Connections Live, the program for entrepreneurs, SMEs, and also business owners. Now, on today's show, we're going to be discussing how to find clients on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, yes, that's right. So is it just a souped-up version of Facebook? Or is it a real proper marketing tool for your business? If you're a small business owner, can you prospect on it? If you're a large business owner, can you use LinkedIn to prospect? Well, I've got an expert with me in the studio today. His name is Rupert. He's the Managing Director of Integrated Marketing Bureau, or even Bureau. Rupert, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for asking me.
I suppose I kind of posed the question there. Is it a serious marketing tool for business today, LinkedIn?
Yes, it's absolutely brilliant for that. First of all, it's a great way of getting market intelligence on particular businesses or organisations you want to connect with. But it's a great way of actually trying to find clients as well. But there's very much a right way and a wrong way of using LinkedIn.
Well, let's look at a little bit of the history, and we'll find out a little bit about you in just a moment. A little bit of the history of LinkedIn. It is, of course, originally it was set up to be a recruitment site where people would connect, and therefore they were putting their experience, their expertise out there online. Is that still fundamentally what LinkedIn is, or really has it changed?
The bottom line is, if you, for example, are wanting to find another role or another job, your public profile is actually almost like having your public CV available online. So even quite senior people within organisations, it's very much in their interest to keep their profiles up to date, because the next opportunity could just be around the corner. But it's actually evolved into being something much more than that now, hence the very large money paid by Microsoft a few weeks ago, some $26 billion, which is a pretty sizable investment.
Do you think that's going to actually change the face of LinkedIn? Do you think LinkedIn will end up having to go in there and use our Microsoft login details to get into it and all the rest of it? I mean, why do you think Microsoft have done it?
Well, I think one of the biggest aspects is the fact it gives them access to a massive audience or potential market of over 400 million business users worldwide. And the amount paid, I believe, is the largest amount ever paid by Microsoft for acquiring another platform. I think with Skype, for example, I believe it was about 8 billion. So they've paid.
So this is really significant then, as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a really big move. And if they've got any sense, they'll largely leave the guys at LinkedIn to get on with their job and just continue to grow and develop their site. Because at the end of the day, it's an ecosystem, and that needs to be respected equally. The members of LinkedIn.
When people approach you and they say, look, we're looking to prospect, we're looking to grow our customer base, are they surprised sometimes when you say, well, look, one of the prime ways of doing that is to actually use LinkedIn? I mean, you actually call yourself the LinkedIn man, don't you? And there is an element to using LinkedIn to promote and to market yourself, but you've got to do it properly within those rules of that ecosystem.
Well, that's quite right. One of the things you've got to bear in mind is you're always dealing with individuals. One of the worst things that people can do on LinkedIn is to overtly try and sell. It's very much a relationship building part. So you just need to remember that people on LinkedIn, if you were going networking and wanting to meet other like-minded business people, the first thing you do is actually engage with the other person, show an interest on what they're all about.
But if we stand back in the real world and we do go to a networking event, the engagement is quite minimal, isn't it? It's, hello, who are you, where are you from? And at that point, at most networking events, you then go into and this is what I do. This is why I'm here. This is how I could help you. And I'm just wondering, there is this hesitation perhaps on LinkedIn to actually go down that route straight away.
And that's a great point. To a certain extent, when you're networking, you can take a few shortcuts along those type of lines. I personally don't recommend it, because I take the view, if you show real interest in that person, bear in mind that people largely judge what you're like in the first 10 or 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. If you do things the wrong way, people are just not going to want to deal with you anyway. And it's a similar thing on LinkedIn, except the fact that you need to actually develop that relationship a bit more, because to go overtly on a sales piece, you would just completely disengage with people. Worse than that, people could hit the spam button or report button, and you don't want that, because if you get a number of those, then your account could be restricted.
Have you seen that?
We've seen other people get into difficulties like that. LinkedIn are usually quite nice about these things, but by the same token, any clients we work with, we're very careful to point out there's a right way and wrong way of doing things.
Strategically then, when you're talking to your clients and you say, here we are, this is LinkedIn, and we're going to use this to prospect effectively. Is there a process that you work your way through on that?
Yes, there is. First of all, it's about trying to identify your ideal target client groups. And there's some very good ways of doing that, which a bit later on in the programme I could show you. Mm-hmm. And that's using some of the advanced searching techniques in there. And you can do a lot of very good segmentation there, find your ideal type of prospects. And then from that, start to try and build relationships with those individuals. And there's lots of general parts you can do in terms of connecting people through groups and other activities, which we actively would encourage, but it can be a bit of a slow burn. There are some more direct ways of doing things, which again we can cover off. But first of all, it's really important to understand what your ideal clients look like, what they're interested in. But fundamentally, LinkedIn is a business-to-business platform, which of course includes business to social enterprises and to charities as well. It's obviously Facebook is much more a platform for dealing with individuals at a private level. LinkedIn is great on the business client acquisition side in the B2B sectors.
Do you think the likes of Facebook, who is becoming more and more targeting the business owner, do you think that's going to become a challenge in the end to what LinkedIn is? I mean, I know LinkedIn, you've got your professional profile on there, but with the business pages, the way that you can now set Facebook up with Facebook Live and those kind of platforms that are now developing on Facebook, it does seem that Facebook is out to dominate every particular media platform, be it personal or business.
And I think that's fair. And to be frank,
did Microsoft buy the wrong one?
I'd be interested to see whether even Microsoft would have a big enough wallet to buy Facebook, actually, but that's another matter. But it's really interesting. Obviously, Facebook is likely to continue its evolution into the business-to-business sectors. At this precise point in the B2B side, certainly LinkedIn is one of the best ways of engaging with people. But the moment you're starting to deal with individual private consumers who are wanting to buy normal domestic products and services, obviously Facebook in that space is by far the best.
Now, how did you get into using or instructing or helping or consulting people when it comes to using LinkedIn? You said Facebook there, but using LinkedIn.
Did I? Thank you. Basically, I got into it is through another business, which I've got still some other business interests in. We found a very good way of actually recruiting potential clients and also joint venture partners and advocates into that particular arena. And we were doing it for ourselves quite a while. And it was when a charity-based organisation came to us about 2 years ago, and I got to know the chief executive really well. And they said, look, we're trying to reach a certain type of target clients so we can expand throughout the country. And I just shared lots of information. Obviously didn't charge them for it, just wanting to help them out. And basically the idea really came from them in terms of turning it into a service we could offer to other people, because they'd found it being really helpful. And they actually became a client of ours last year, which is really exciting. We helped them to expand into other cities throughout the UK.
Look, the bottom line on this, I suppose, for people that are watching the programme today, is if I have a small business, if I do my proper research, if I work correctly within the restrictions that LinkedIn imposes on me, the rules that they have, can I grow my business and can I increase my sales?
The bottom line is yes, and the good thing is it's just not restricted to the UK either. We've got one client who is based in Oxford, and they have they're looking to get paying delegates for conferences in the US, Asia, and the Middle East. And we've been running campaigns for them to help them to get clients over there with a very high degree of success. And that's very relevant with Brexit coming up. We need to be looking outside Europe.
Fifth largest economy.
Exactly.
We're on our way to be a leader in the world.
That's right.
Well, you've got to talk it up because there's a danger that we'll all end up talking it down.
No, exactly.
It's got to be positive. The die has been set.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can grow your business. You can actually increase sales. You can use it for marketing and promotion. Is it suitable for any particular kind of product? Is it soft services? Is it hard services? What are we talking about?
Okay, where it probably works best is where companies or organisations have got fairly high value products or services they actually want to sell. Because obviously to nurture and inform relationships, to build momentum takes time. We personally don't use the pay-per-click method through LinkedIn at all. We find we get very good results for our clients without using that, but it does require a big investment of time. And we put a whole system of processes in place to help you achieve that. So if there's a high ticket price per sale, that makes a big difference. It doesn't matter whether products or services works just as well. A lot of people or business owners will describe themselves as being generalists. Actually, we do have to work with our clients to help them to micro-segment their target clients down, because although LinkedIn may return those 25,000 prospects in that particular industry sector, you can actually only reach perhaps about 700 of them at any one time. So there's different.
Well, listen, hold that thought for a moment, because we're going to talk about more on how your business can use LinkedIn today on this edition of Business Connections Live. My guest on the program is Rupert Honeywood, Managing Director of Integrated Marketing Bureau.